Alright guys, we just got back from watching Witcher Sirens of the Deep. Do not forget, that frickin' has a diversity hire literally working on the television show. What the frick? I mean, what are we doing here? Anyways, I think this is Witcher. I have no idea. So we're just here for whatever the frick this is. I think it's Witcher. So anyways, it's Blood of Dawnwalker, and okay, let's check it out. Alright guys, before we head into the video, this right here is an excerpt from Umbral Stalker Groom to the Shadow Maiden. This right here is a scene where Nessian is grieving before he is met with a man that he will make a pact with. Check it out.
Nessian's head sank into the bed once more as further teardrops soaked into the bed. Clasping Ceressa's left and right hands, Nessian threw his promotion letter to the ground, fumbling his fingers throughout Ceressa's fingers and palms. "Just tell me, Ceressa, please. What is it? I'll get it for you. I'll do anything for you. Just tell me," begged Nessian, shaking his hands in her lifeless palms. Nessian wept as the lights flickered on and off with greater occurrence, while the shadows of the room crept in towards Ceressa's bed. The room had grown so cold that Nessian could feel a chill upon Ceressa's skin, which could not desist his contact with her. Kissing his lips against her clasped hands inside his own palms, Nessian's moistened eyes looked towards Ceressa's blank face before he limply stood back up. Looming above her body with a dreadful gaze, Nessian reached his left hand out to caress Ceressa's cold right cheek, kissing her lips with his tears falling down upon her cheeks. Grabbing his shirt's sleeve, Nessian wiped away at his tears on Ceressa's face. Meanwhile, the darkness in the room had creeped in closer towards Ceressa's bed, followed by a sudden creak from the patient room's door. With a slow breeze of chilling air entering the room, the dark figure of a simple but ominous man entered the room. He was pale as ice of skin, lean and unimpressive in build, and dark as the night's sky of hair. He had dressed in all black, with an odd pointed hat, wide at the back and pointed near the front, with a decayed gray feather nipped in the front of the hat's crown at the band, foot of the crown. Connected by short strings on his fingers, the man jangled a pair of dice, like they were a living part of his very demeanor. Upon his neck hung a peculiar pocket watch. A monotone voice dragged across the room. "Death is a cruel choice. It stings most when its cruelty is unforbidden, wouldn't you say? If only you could forbid this cruel choice, unwinding the harm that accursed her. No?" proposed the dark figure. Nessian took deep, heaving breaths. "Who are you? And why are you here?" responded Nessian, with anger in his eyes. The man droned his voice once more. "I come to reunite you with her. The darkness that clenches her being, I've come to free it, to restore her," said the dark figure, rubbing his pointer finger across his clock pendant. "To propose an end to both of your suffering," finished the dark figure, carrying a tone of pity.
Now, of course, this is only the beginning of the story. There is much more that happens after this point. I hope that you guys enjoyed what you listened to, and when you do pick up the book, I would love to hear your thoughts once you finished it. Thank you so much. Back into the video. I have no idea if Sirens of the Deep is going to be good. Again, though, they have a bunch of feminists working on it. Oh, so it's from the director of Wild Hunt. Well, okay. Might be good. Alright. Wow. So far, good pacing, good cinematic quality. I mean, cinematics have kind of looked like this for a while, but Good music. Like right now, we're getting a lot of good narrative beats going on here.
It must be here somewhere.
We got a cross. Wait, so is Christianity a thing in the Witcher universe? I didn't think it was. I guess it makes sense, but yeah, I mean it's the cross, so it has to be.
It's all right. Lunka!
Ouch.
Don't hurt her! You gave us quite the chase, young. Please, sir. She's just a child!
Man, this is good so far. The characters, the dudes are actually talking like men. The pacing is good. The behavior, the mindset, the personalities of the characters are correct. It doesn't feel like liberal horsewash yet.
Lunka!
It feels legit.
Don't hurt her! You gave us quite the chase, young. Please, sir. She's just a child! Roderick, remind me. Did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
No. That would have been...
Okay, do we always have to make villains this sinister? Like, can they never just be like what these writers always try to do? They always try to make villains irregular people, or like, right? It's like, oh, this guy's so sinister. He's obviously evil. The best villains are always the dudes you're like, yeah, I could see myself being him. And there's a way to write this kind of a character and not make him super sinister, super, oh, obviously a piece of trash. But that's what they want you to think, is that he just revels in being a douchebag. That's what they want for you to believe about his character. And it's like, can we never just get a character like this and he's just doing his job? It's just pragmatism for him. It's just, he's just going through the ropes of what they're supposed to be doing. Because it's like there's no reason for what they're doing here, for their protocol. It's just to be douchebags. That's it. And these are very weak, straw man oriented villains. And I'm so sick and tired of treating our villains as straw men. It's never this simple. It's not always this simple. Can be this simple, but it's lazy writing here. Because everyone knows how do you make someone seem like a douchebag and a bad guy. Okay, you did it. Good for you. Now we're all supposed to believe that he's a piece of trash. But that doesn't mean that this is a compelling villain or that there is a compelling conflict. The way that you get a compelling conflict is having a compelling villain. And the only way you do that is by treating the villain as equal to the protagonist. So the writer has to be in the camp, in the boat, with both the protagonist and the antagonist. If you want to have a good antagonist, good protagonist, you have to treat both the same, and you have to have sympathies for both parties.
Been fooled. Roderick, remind me. Did I make an exception for...
By the way, this is a very recognizable voice actor. Who is he again? Oh, shoot. Man, that's so familiar. Anyways, he's good. He does a good performance, and I think the character is well delivered. Despite my gripes with the archetype of character, I do see that this character, though, it's good execution. I think all the characters so far are good execution.
You gave us quite the chase, young. Please, sir. She's just a child! Roderick, remind me. Did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
No. That would have been foolish, would it not? They spread the plague just as well as adults. And there's only one way to stamp out this sickness. No! Not just a runner, but a fighter, too. Had we met under a different moon, things might have ended.
Whoa, holy crap. I mean, they're no strangers to gore in these. What is this supposed to be, though? But okay, they're no stranger to gore in these trailers.
Different
I mean,
mood.
that is insane. God, man, liberals are so freaking pathetic. Because just emotionalists in general are freaking pathetic. Because they're going to be moistening their pearls over this. Like, oh yeah, he got it. He got it coming to him. All right, whatever. Yeah. Oh wow, big douchebag. He got what was coming to him, and now you feel good about yourself. Yeah, I bet you're a big freaking biatch, whatever the frick you are. I bet you're a big man now. Now that you watched the big bad guy get wrecked.
Things might have ended there.
Man, that is brutal. Wow. Why is it so loud? I tried to bring it down. Whoa. Holy crap. Yo, get rid of that freaking bottom bar. Oh my good. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm pissed. Yeah, so far this is really good. This seems like to me, who was that guy from the DLC? The freaking genie guy. He was basically like a Faustian type of character. I forget.
Just a runner, but a fighter too. Had we met under a different moon, things might have ended
Oh, these are vampires. Whoa, frick. That is brutal.
Lunka! My sister. She needs help.
Wait,
fast.
so they're DEI vampires? What? Why do we have an Asian vampire? Or what? Mongolian? Or how? I mean, what region are we in? Are these guys like, okay, I get it, they live forever, blah blah blah, but like actually why? Why are they I mean, it's not like prototypical DEI. I don't see a black dude, but it's like still. I just don't know why they're diverse. I mean, it looks like to me they're supposed to be like Protestant vampires.
My sister. She needs help. Fast. Please, let us pass through. I beg of you. Please. Please.
Wow.
I don't know. How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between. I have been watching your little valley. Pestilence, famine, killing. Blood spilt carelessly, like water. Things will be different now. For all of you.
Oh gosh. It already feels like we're having like an Assassin's Creed of Witcher game. heck? Strange. Alright, so gameplay reveal. It looks like it's gonna be a lot like an Assassin's Creed game or a lot of games that we've gotten in the past, so... Well, it's interesting that the director for Witcher 3 is working on this because I mean, he and the writers that he worked with, they did a good job on Blood Hunt, so... or whatever the frick it's called. So they did a good job on Witcher 3. Wait, is it that they worked on the one of the DLCs? Is that what it is? Yeah, because right, from the director of Wild Hunt, yeah. And the DLC, the first DLC was called Blood something. I forget what it is. Blood, shoot, I'm forgetting it. Anyway, okay, so the director of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Okay. So it's interesting that this is the game that he's working on. It looks like they're putting full... it looks like they're putting a full budget behind this. I mean, it looks really good. The cinematics look top tier. I mean, it looks like a full-fledged game. So, and the gameplay cutscene here looks great when he's going down the... right here, he's going down the side of the building. That looks really good. And the little bit of in-game gameplay that we saw. What is this making me think of? It's making me think of something. I don't know what it is, but okay. I don't like seeing machinery, though, I don't think. In the Witcher universe, I don't think I like that. But it is cool, the idea here that we've got going on. So, right, the vampires, you know, they have these powers that allows them to live as immortals, but then they also have the power to easily take life from those of the living. So, and they have a lot of mystical and magical properties, as you know, from The Witcher. Now, I don't know what kind of vampires these are. They're obviously probably higher vampires and all that. But they clearly have a lot of power. And so it's easy to turn them into characters that are like as if they're demigods, right? Amongst man. So it's kind of interesting to mix a religious tone with these kind of horrific beings that are attempting to pursue themselves as demigods. It's kind of an interesting mixture on ideas, and it's an interesting play on concepts and themes. It's a compelling way to go into a story for the next game. So one of my issues, though, with a story like this is that we have a nobody character that nobody knows about. Nobody knows who this guy is. He might be one of the Witchers that Geralt knows. I don't think that's the case, though. He's just some dude. So, and I'm going to be honest, like, he's just some guy. And okay, good. It's a white man. Good. Anglo-Saxon guy. Good. This is a Witcher game. And it's honoring the racial heritage of the property. That's pretty big. All right. That's pretty important. So I'm happy with that. I'm not seeing any crazy DEI nonsense here. So this is good. Now, one of my issues is like, okay, how many hot, sexy women are we going to get in the game? Are we going to have any chicks that are hot, have anything to do with this guy, the main character? Are we going to have hot, sexy female characters? And are women going to be sex? I mean, dude, freaking vampires, you know, the whole thing about a vampiress, right? There's always something sexual about vampiric women in a lot of fiction. So, you know, you can go pretty far back. And then, you know, there's always something aloof and allure to the vampiric men of a lot of stories. They're always very knowledgeable, very powerful. They're always very seasoned. So vampiric men are always very high of esteem. And then it's always been the fact that vampiric women are always very sexual and, you know, I guess they're very tempting. What's the other word for it? They're very goading, I think is another word for it. There's a word that I'm looking for here. But anyways, oh shoot, what is that word? It's literally on the tip of my tongue, but whatever it is. Anyways, but they're very temptuous, just for the lack of a better word. Vampiric women have always been very temptuous archetypes. So I wonder how they're going to go about that, because I wonder if they're going to lean into the sexual aspect of a vampiress or vampiresses and make proper literary use out of vampiric women, right? They're sexy, they're hot. So some kind of nudity scenes, you know, like literally like a woman in a bloodbath, that kind of a thing. And you have scenes where you have a vampiress, she's in a bloodbath, just bathing in blood. That is a scene that could be really well done if directed effectively. And then we have, you can have sexual circumstances. I don't know between which characters, but I don't really know for this guy. I mean, I think for this character, you would need like a random vampirist character that, you know, kind of like Geralt, just randomly meets a chick and then develops a slow relationship with her. So, however it works, this guy's got to meet some bombshell, hot smoke show, vampiric chick. I don't know. Is there going to be any romance for the main character with other female characters? I wonder how deep they're going to go with this game, because I don't know, like, where's the storyline going to go? Obviously, it's like, it's an interesting premise, but I just don't know where it's going to go. It could go in a whole lot of directions. One of my concerns with this is that a lot of Assassin's Creed storylines, this literally reeks of Assassin's Creed to me, and that's one of my concerns, is that Assassin's Creed stories are typically pretty shallow. And it's really just as simple as random dude becomes somewhat powerful and powerful enough to just wreck a bunch of people and become a one-man army. He has no charisma, no personality. And again, like, it's better than everything else that we've ever gotten, you know, like Mary Sue's and just girl boss this and girl boss that. The point is, though, it's not a compelling character. You just have a generic dude doing cool guy stuff. But again, is this guy going to bang hot chicks in the story? Are we going to have naked women? Are we going to have hot naked women? Are we going to have hot naked vampiric women? Are we going to have a scene with a hot vampiric chick that's just bathing in blood, right? Are we going to get those kinds of key scenes that everyone wants to see in a vampire-oriented story? Because that's really what we want, is, you know, to really delve deep into these themes, especially to make full usage out of these sexual themes out of vampiric women, because we typically don't get any stories that actually make good use out of the themes surrounding a vampiress. It looks like they're largely going to do a good job on the male vampire characters and archetypes. I don't think they're going to screw that up, but the main character seems to me like he's kind of generic, right? We're not going to have much of a story with him, but still, I am interested whether or not he's going to have a romance with a certain list of hot female characters. Because again, having a bunch of sexy female vampire characters, that would definitely be nice. And obviously you can romance them and then bang them. So, and then we have the young girl character, which I don't even know what that's about. It's like basically a series surrogate character. So it's like we're gonna have another Siri for whatever reason. I don't even know why. I don't even know if we really need that. It kind of feels like we're kind of rehashing the same trope there between Geralt and Ciri. It's going to be the same thing for this guy and this young girl, although this young girl obviously was resuscitated by this vampire guy. So that'll be kind of interesting. Just the relationship. Well, okay, they both became vampires. Well, no, it looks like it seems like he's a thrall, right? Because vampires, right, they have power and mind control over lesser beings. So this guy is going to be a lesser vampire thrall of this higher vampire guy, which I don't even know how that's going to work. So he cannot defy the authority of this higher... Well, he doesn't even have his own autonomy, really. So how is that going to work? I mean, like, where are they going to take the story with that? And how interesting can that actually get? Because, again, it seems really generic to me so far. I mean, I think as generic as it's going to be, I think it's going to be compelling. I think it's going to be well told. It's just going to be very generic. It's not going to be a story that you're like, wow, like, no one's really making stories like that. I don't think we're going to get that out of this, but... So it seems like to me this guy's kind of a mind-controlled, mind-washed thrall. I forget what it's called now, but there's a lesser vampire that's just mind controlled by a higher vampire. And, obviously, right, this storyline's about this dude. He wants to basically conquer this entire city, entire villages, and turn everybody into his thralls, right? His vampiric thralls, working beneath him. For his own bidding, and he's creating a vampire army. So that's an interesting storyline to follow here. I mean, again, like, you can go interesting directions with that, but it's like, it would be more interesting if they went like a mafia story kind of route with it. So like, it's like a vampire family. This guy's the head of the family, and he's both trying to conquer regions that are weak and susceptible to his power, but then he's trying to politically manipulate and diplomatically exchange with far more powerful regions. That would be more interesting. So he's dominating, right? And just completely subjugating through his vampire powers. As a high vampire, he's basically conscripting a bunch of lesser vampires, going through lesser towns, lesser cities. They're not strong. But then for like larger groups, larger regions, right, with actual greater militaries, he's trying to go about it diplomatically. Like, there's ways that you can make this storyline interesting and compelling. Because there needs to be a dynamic of power where it's like, okay, there's people beyond him that he needs to leverage politically. And then there's all the people beneath him, like this guy, who gets dominated rather quickly and turns into a thrall of this guy. By the way, wasn't there a game they were going to make that was going to be like a battle royale? I don't think it's this, but I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. Obviously, this is not a mainline product of the Witcher series, but it's they're definitely putting a lot of their talents and a lot of their budget behind this. So again, there's a way that you can make this an interesting story. I just don't know. They're not going to, I don't see it though. They're not going to go a compelling route with this because, I mean, they could. From what we've seen, they could. But it's like right now, I'm just not getting the sense of like, there's going to be a lot of political intrigue with this storyline. It just seems like a brute force storyline. And those kinds of stories are very simplistic. Characters don't really go anywhere. Nobody really transforms. People are not wrestling for power. And that's what would make it interesting, is that you have the brute force aspect of the narrative, right? He's taking over all these weaker people, lesser than him, creating and turning them into lesser vampires underneath his rule. But then he's leveraging that for the fact that he wants to weaponize an army for political power to overcome a greater empire. That would be interesting. But make it where, there's certain things and features and traits about the storyline that makes that difficult for him to do this, right? This higher vampire. Right now, what I'm getting the sense of, again, this is a very Assassin's Creed storyline. Some dude gives to you the hidden blade. Suddenly you become a BA and you're just wrecking people everywhere you go. Left, right, and center. You're a one-man army. And eventually, people betray each other, and the people that taught you how to become an assassin, eventually you have to kill them, and eventually then you become the guy, Now you're the guy, no one else is left, and we're getting close to the end of the story. That's what I think we're seeing here, is that this guy, obviously he's given the power of, vampirism. And then the storyline is just that he works underneath this guy for a little while, and then he overtakes this guy, and either replaces his authority, or he just becomes autonomous as a vampire. Which, again, we've seen this story happen many times before. That's why I'm saying that this is Assassin's Creed. This feels like an Assassin's Creed storyline already. And that's my criticism here. Again, I think it'll be competently told, but it just doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of depth here, and that's kind of disappointing, But, everything else seems good. We're not getting DEI demographics, at least in this trailer. It feels like the Witcher universe. It feels like Witcher characters. It has good writing. It has a good possession of character archetypes. The pacing is there. The pacing's really good. But right now, I'm not really sold on the depth of the story. And that's the main thing I really worry about, is how much is actually going on in the story. But regardless, there better be hot chicks. There better be freaking sexy vampiresses in this storyline. Or whatever, following this character, the whole thing, okay? There just better be freaking hot vampire chicks. The frick. And outside of that, so this guy seems to me that he's going to be a lesser thrall. And it seems like the girl that was resuscitated, my guess is that she's going to be a lower vampire to the... I forget the term for it, but this guy's going to be a high vampire. And I guess she's going to be... Clearly, she's a vampire now, right? Because he gave her his blood. And that's different from the mind control that he illustrated upon this guy. So he mind controlled this guy. I think he turned the little girl into a vampire, which means I think she has autonomy. So as I understand it, then she's able to do what a lot of the things that she wants to do, but she's ultimately, she has to submit to the authority of the higher vampire. This guy, I don't know who this character is, but whatever. So this higher vampire that gave her his blood, obviously now she's kind of like an air quotes child to him by blood, but as I remember, vampires like her, although they must submit to the authority of a higher vampire, she is going to be able to operate autonomously, unlike the main character, who, again, I believe he was mind controlled. I mean, that's all that we saw. So I think he's mind controlled. So that's going to be interesting, the dynamic there. So he's connected to the girl. She is now a child of the higher vampire. So, I mean, are they going to try and make it where she defies the higher vampire? Is that the storyline? And he's mind washed by the higher vampire. And I guess that the higher vampire does that to disassociate the guy from the girl. And ultimately so that he can also groom the girl to be, whatever he intends, whatever, I don't know, like a lieutenant or something. I don't know, something, just something in his obviously his vampire army that he's creating. I don't know what her purpose is, but obviously though, to raise her and just do something in this kind of vampire army that he's creating. So anyways, you know, we get a couple of ideas from this trailer. It's interesting what's here. It's not very deep, but it's for what we're being shown on the surface, it seems like we're going to get a largely interesting story. It's not going to go anywhere too crazy, but it's like right now, it looks like to me they're making an entire game out of a side quest from The Witcher 3. That's what I'm seeing here. And of course, it is interesting too to me that the director for Witcher 3 is working on this game, and I guess he's not working on The Witcher 4. I don't know who's working on The Witcher 4, but I guess he's not. Which is kind of weird. You know what? I mean, actually, I'm interested in just seeing who's actually working on The Witcher 4. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up right now. So, director for Witcher 4. There's no way it's a freaking woman. Wait. The Witcher 4. Wait. Confirms has the same narrative director as the first game. The first game. Well, it doesn't have Geralt, so that's not going to mean much. Wait. The Witcher 4's decision to include Ciri as the protagonist came instantly under fire. Yeah. Immediately we have to vilify the people criticizing this. Following the game's reveal at the Game Awards last year, I mean, it was like literally a month ago. A vocal minority. Okay, it's a minority. Yeah, okay, so you're telling me all the gay retard cucks are in the majority. All right. Declared that it was another gender swap game. Yes, it is. Nobody wants Ciri as Geralt. And yes, the purpose is to gender swap Geralt. Everybody finished Witcher 3 and they were like, not interested in Ciri becoming Geralt. Not interested. I know that's what they're going to try to do. But Geralt's story is over. And we're not going to replace him. But of course they want to continue. Again, there is no Witcher series without Geralt. It's just that simple. And these retards, they think that you can just throw in Ciri, so they're going to, of course, throw shade. Whatever. It's just going to bomb horribly. Even though they think that, oh, everyone's just going to have to accept that a woman is the main character. No, nobody wants it. And that okay, so anyways, another gender swap game, and that the woke uglification of women hit Ciri hard. Yes, it did. They uglified her. They made her look like a Karen. She does not need to look like a Karen. They did that because of DEI, ESG. Bro, these freaking people, how they literally sit there and they gaslight. They literally made a dedication about 2 years ago, CD Projekt Red, to ESG. This is not made up. You can see it, the ESG, but then they even admit it, the ESG. This is a trend that's been showing forth in all of these games across the industry. You keep on seeing a bunch of Karen women, not sexy, hot bombshell women like we used to get. No, now it's a bunch of Karens who barely have any breast size. They're not sexualized. They're not attractive. They're not hot. They're not young, hot chicks. No, it's a bunch of Karens running around. That's what we're getting for characters now. Gee, I wonder if that has anything to do with a bunch of woke heads after Gamergate coming through and being like, oh, women are too sexualized and men are finding them too desirable and they like their breasts too much and their hips too much and their waist too much. It's too much. It's too much. How do these people screw these pieces of filth? They literally sit here and they act like everyone's making it up after they literally reveal themselves year in and year out. No, you woke mother effers. You have invaded the gaming industry. You have invaded it. You have pushed your politics into everything. Yes, a part of feminism is to uglify women, is for women to cut their hair short because long hair is a fertility feature, a sexual cue towards men. Men like long hair. So feminists, they sit there and they want what? Short hair. Oh, that's weird. Why did we get so many short-haired feminists, dyke, lesbian, really not even tomboy, but yes, tomboy. Dude, women behaving like men. Dude, girls as a bunch of characters for how many years now? It's been like 8 years now. Bunch of dude bro chicks running around. Short hair, by the way. Oh, gee, something that feminists are about. Oh, but there's no ESG, screw you. Anyways, yes, uglification hit Siri hard, yes. It seems like these folk believed there was no long-term vision, and CD Projekt Red was simply reacting to the way the gaming landscape has evolved. They always love to assume that the majority position lies and rests with themselves. Yet no, your games fail. When your games go woke, they go mother effing broke. When your movies go woke, they go broke. When your television shows go woke, they go broke. Screw you. Now, speaking on Twitter, this company's CEO has confirmed, it's X now, by the way. The company's CEO has confirmed that there was, in fact, some long-term planning and that The Witcher 4, of course there was. That's not the argument. They're reframing the argument. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that no one wants Geralt replaced. And yes, you killed him in the last game. Or well, his story's over in the last game, okay? It's done. But nobody wants a freaking woman being Geralt of Rivia. And that's what we're getting. What is Ciri going to do? Is she going to, grind out her vajayjay on a freaking female? How are we going to sexualize women in the next game? There's no way, unless Ciri is a raging lesbian homosexual. That's the only way you do it. But nobody wants that. Nobody wants two chicks rubbing their freaking vajayjays on each other. We would rather have a dude, a cool character dude, plowing through chicks. That's what we want. We don't want lesbians and then, with their dyke haircuts and all that trash. We don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want a bunch of Karens. Anyways, lesbian trash is gay. Yeah, okay, it's hot. Two hot chicks. Okay. But it's not hot. Anything lesbian oriented is not hot unless a dude's involved. Because then it's just gay. It's just gay. No dude's like, wow, I'm not involved in this scenario. That's so hot. No, it's only hot when there's two chicks and one guy. That's it. Anyways, so some long-term planning and that The Witcher 4 having the same narrative director as the first game in the series. The same narrative director, but how many other narrative directors? That's the other problem, is that now everything has to be made by committee. And the committee happens to have some random DEI hire. Do you really think that these writers, they want to be working with these DEI hires? Do you think these people are conducive on the team to make a good story? They always throw in random people that don't belong. Do you really think, oh, I can't wait to work with this person? It matters that people enjoy working with each other. It matters that people want to work with each other. And you throw in these random DEI hires onto these teams, just like with, for instance, The Witcher, Sirens of the Deep. They literally have Ray Benjamin is a freaking black chick working with these other dudes. And also Lauren Hisrich is somewhere in that mix. Anyways, you have these DEI hires thrown into the mix of legitimate writers, legitimate producers, legitimate directors. Wait. It looks like they're referencing the guy that is one of the writers here. All right. I mean, I really... Oh, wait. The Witcher 4 director. Wait, so the Witcher 4 director, Michael Nowakowski, wasn't he also in the credits for the Sirens of the Deep? Again, bro, who's actually making these things? Genuine question. By the way, Geralt does not sound like Geralt in the trailer for Sirens of the Deep. He does not sound like Geralt. So clearly they don't have the correct writer. It's probably the DEI hire. Hold up. Wait, what is this? Oh, well, people are saying, okay, so now they're also addressing allegations that they're working with Sweet Baby Inc. Well, you don't have to work with Sweet Baby Inc. There's a bunch of other consultation companies. Hit Detection, there's a bunch of other ones nobody knows about. There's a bunch of consultation companies. It's not just Sweet Baby Inc. So, okay, they said they were... Wait. Yeah, so they're responding to the accusations that they're working with Sweet Baby Inc. And they say, no, we are not, and we never worked with them. Okay, but are you working with other ones? Or are you working with the US government or other governments? They're trying to push you towards woke. Because that's another problem. ESG. They've already bent the knee to ESG. CD Projekt Red as a company. So you are already being informed by somebody. It doesn't have to be Sweet Baby Inc. There's some consultation member, individual, agent, group. Someone is telling you to go ESG. You guys literally accepted ESG. Bro, how do these people keep making... Okay. They reframe the argument. They make stuff up. They don't even source the people making these accusations. Who are these people saying that's Sweet Baby Inc.? Honestly, what it is that they know that people knew about Sweet Baby Inc., that they complained about it, that they called it out, and now they're sitting here and they're trying to pawn off the blame to Sweet Baby Inc., and they're just making up the accusation. Nobody accused this. I don't hear anyone saying this. What people are saying is that there's probably someone like Sweet Baby Inc. who is the DEI consultant to CD Projekt Red, and they are influencing Witcher 4. That's probably what they're talking about here. That's probably the accusations. That's my accusation. Will you quote it? No, you won't. Because it's correct. Because they are working with an ESG consultation member, group, agent, someone consultation, ESG. But they won't quote that because then they're wrong. They have to make up a straw man, attack it, and win the fake argument. Anyways, it's just pathetic how these wokies behave. They always say that wokeness is made up, right? Oh, it's not real, doesn't exist. Then they love to sit there and say that your concerns are made up, it doesn't exist, it's not there. Anyways, just back to this freaking trailer. Anyways, it's a decent trailer. Again, there better be sexy, hot vampire chicks. That's number one. They better be naked at some point in the story. Again, we need a bloodbath scene. Again, a woman in a bloodbath. We need to have that. We need to have something else. I don't know, just some other sexy scene with a sexy vampire chick, whatever. The main character, he's just going to be a dude. That's all I see here. The storyline, again, I don't think it's going to be that interesting. I think it's going to be a power struggle between the thrall, right? The dude. The young girl is going to be a lesser vampire, or just a normal vampire, some kind of vampire to the higher vampire. So there's going to be a power struggle there. It's going to be weird, and I don't know if they're going to go girl boss with it. They could. We'll see about that. We have really good graphics, really good cinematic quality here. The gameplay looks like it's going to be all right because it looks like it looks like it might be like Black Myth Wukong, if I'm being honest, or something of the like. You know, it looks like a very similar type of graphical style, and also I'm going to guess the combat's very similar. Typically, it ends up that way. What's one last thing I want to look up? The Witcher 4. So... No. Bloodwalker. So yeah, the Bloodwalker director. Who's the director for Bloodwalker? Conrad. What? Okay, so I guess Conrad is the guy that worked on Witcher 3, right? And then the Michael Kawałowski guy. I guess that guy, right? He did Witcher 1, I'm guessing. So Conrad Thomas Kiwiskis. What are these names, man? Like, yo, man, simplify it. Just call yourself Thomas as a last name. Gee, Americans do everything better. They even do last names better. Anyway. Okay, well, that's interesting. So, okay, so that's the... Wait. Oh, Rebel Wolves is a new studio led by the director of The Witcher 3. Why did they make a new studio? They are CDPR veterans. Oh, wait, hold... No, wait. Oh, wait. Is this inspired from The Witcher? What the frick? Okay, well, listen, they did a good job. But I get, is this not Witcher then? I mean, it's doing so many things like The Witcher. The music is The Witcher. Okay. So why did they split? Why did they split from CDPR? I mean, I guess because CDPR is doing ESG. Okay. So, okay, by the way, listen, I don't see any exact ESG here. We don't know if there's any ESG involvement. By the way, I was talking about Witcher 4, not this game. So we're back to this game. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen for Witcher 4, but like this game looks all right. Again, we don't really have a proper character here. Oh, you know what? Okay, wait. I want to look up. Okay, so by the way, just let's finish this. So, Blood of the Dawnwalker. Oh no, The Blood of Dawnwalker. So this is basically from the guy. So this is from CDPR veterans. They formed Rebel Wolves Studio. But I wonder what the reason is. Why was Rebel Wolves Studio made? We founded this studio to create and manage games on our own terms. Okay, so I guess they didn't want to be involved with DEI. With one guiding principle, the team comes first, always. Oh, okay, also overworking, yeah, because people complained a lot about that. So maybe that's a part of the issue that they're talking about. What else? Happy people make great games. Okay, so I guess the burnout is real for these guys and they did not enjoy being overworked. Games that players want and deserve. Yes, it's as simple as that. All right, so that's kind of their mission statement. So I guess, right, they didn't like being overworked for The Witcher 3, which again, you know, you are working for a company that is... It's getting a little bit big for its own good, and I guess you have investors that are just forcing people to overwork for man hours that are ridiculous, and then you're suffering, but you know you want to be in game development, but you also don't want to suffer at the same time. So I guess and I'm gonna guess a little bit of the ESG nonsense also. They did not want to be making games underneath that umbrella, unless they took ESG for this game, which right now I don't see any indicator of that. So... But man, this really has the Witcher DNA on it. I mean, the characters feel like Witcher. Literally, the writing feels like Witcher. And of course, it comes from the director and a lot of the other guys. So, of course, it makes sense. It's just... So, oh man, what is Witcher 4 going to be like then? There's no way that The Witcher 4 is going to feel like The Witcher. If these guys are gone and they're no longer working on The Witcher 4, then, I mean, this feels like The Witcher. So that's crazy that must mean then that some really key talent has left CD Projekt Red. It has to mean it. Because if this feels like The Witcher, then what the frick is Witcher 4 going to feel like? Well, Witcher 4 doesn't really feel like The Witcher. It feels like modern day. It feels slightly Witcher, right? Because clearly they still have people from past Witcher games that they hired on for Witcher 4, but it doesn't feel like Witcher 3, and this feels like a continuation from Witcher 3. So, well, a side quest in Witcher 3. Anyway, so they said there's also this. So this is another one. So with the goal of building their own studio to develop a high quality story driven RPG on their own terms, prioritizing team well-being and creative freedom. Yep. So creative freedom, which means what? No. Obviously something about ESG has to do with that. I don't know how deep, but something has to do with that. And while leveraging their extensive experience in the genre. Okay. Essentially allowing them to create a game they truly believe in with fully creative control. All right. Oh, and they also worked on Cyberpunk 2077. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, what was it? Cyberpunk 2077 was not a good game. That was a dog trash story. Man, there's nothing I liked about that game. But okay, so the same guys from Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. Well, that means that, dude, The Witcher 4, I wonder how that's going to feel. Obviously, it's not. It's going to have the shell of The Witcher on it because it's the same studio and they have the same practice. But it's not very clear that, right, we're going to have the same narrative direction. That's going to have the same atmosphere, the same themes, the same concepts that we got out of The Witcher 3. The same kind of spirit and soul, the vessel of Witcher 3 is probably, yeah, I think it's doomed on Witcher 4. It's not going to feel like the same company. That's what I'm getting out of this. All right, I want to see the, what is the hierarchy of vampires in Witcher? All right, so the highest ranking vampires are considered higher vampires, yep, which are significantly more powerful and intelligent than lower level vampire types like Fleder or Garcane. Fleder or Garcane. So I guess this guy got turned into either a Fleder or a Garcane. Depends on his powers. Depends on, maybe one's by blood, one's by mind control, right? Yeah, we got Alp, higher vampires. We got Katakan, Bruxa, Mula, and Nosferatu, higher vampires. So we have a whole bunch of different types. And then we got Plumard, we got Garcane, we got Proto-Fleder, we got Fleder, and we got Akima as the lower vampires. So my guess is that this guy got turned into a Fleder. It just sounds right to me. Yeah, higher vampires, they are the top tier, possessing immense power, near immortality, and often high levels of intellect. And less powerful vampires are often more animalistic creatures. Well, aren't there just like normal vampires though? Isn't that the Bruxa, right? Or I forget which one it is. Is it Nosferatu? What's a Nosferatu? Alright, so Nosferatu is a race of vampires which settled in the northern kingdoms. They are apparently nocturnal, resembling a bat. Interesting. Considered more dangerous than Katakans. They can, however, take a more humanoid form. They are obviously intelligent. Unlike Alps, Bruxe, and Mulas, higher vampires, they are susceptible to the sun. Nosferatu enjoy drinking blood in smaller or larger doses, but don't mutilate their victims by shredding them apart like Fleders or Akimas. Okay. So the dudes that tore apart this guy at the end here, those are Fleders and Akimas then, that tore him apart. I don't know what this biatch is. I have no idea, but she's something. But yeah, these dudes who... This guy looks like to me that maybe he used to be... I mean, he looks like to me a Nosferatu. Maybe he is a Nosferatu. Is he a Nosferatu? I mean, he really comes across as one. So he might be susceptible to the sun, right? Yeah, he looks like a Nosferatu. The long fingernails and all that. Obviously, he has higher intelligence and all that trash. That's the intention of him. What are Fleders? Flooders are lesser vampires which usually hunt in rundown city districts. Flooders are lesser vampires. They are primitive and bear a closer relation to animals than to humans, but when they drop on their prey from above, they can be just as dangerous as their cousins. Okay. Well, I don't think he got turned into a flatter then. Maybe a Garcane or something else. All right. Well, I'm not gonna keep on going with this. I'm trying to look at it, but Alps are hot chicks that are naked. Yes. I want to see some Alps in this mother effing game. All right. So yeah, so obviously we have so Alps typically make up, and I think also the Brugze and the Mulas, they typically make up female vampiresses, so I'm gonna guess this guy is a Nosferat. He definitely comes across as one. And then they better leverage into sexy female vampires. Okay, what are Garcanes? What is this? They are the filthiest of vampires, uglier even than Fletters. Okay. They drink blood, but they are also drawn to fresh meat or even corpses. They are often mistaken for gargoyles because they lurk on rooftops. Well, alright, so are these other guys, are they Plumards then? Oh no, they're not Plumards. Okay, then what the frick did he turn this guy into? I don't know. A Catacan? Is he a Catacan? I don't know. Is that what it is? Wait. Let's see. Catacans have many bat-like traits. Larger and, albeit somewhat larger and monstrous. Okay, maybe this guy's just a higher vampire. There was one point where I understood this whole hierarchy. I don't understand it anymore. Yeah, I'm totally beside myself, but yeah, so okay, this guy's a higher vampire. That's what he is. Maybe he used to be a Nosferat and then he ascended, right, to a higher vampire. Because that can't happen. I forget which type of vampire, though, is able to defeat their higher vampire to become a higher vampire themselves. I think there's one that can do it. And then the others are just subjugated. Well, interesting. All right, let me look this up. Can higher vampires mind control in Witcher? So some higher vampires can control lesser vampires or communicate with animals. Higher vampires are highly resistant to most types of magic. They can turn invisible, transform into a bat, manipulate men and animals. They can control lesser vampires. So I guess this guy, wait, they also have mental powers. Yeah. So I don't know. To me, he did not turn this guy into a lesser vampire. I think what he did is mind control. It seems like that to me. So. All right. Well, so clearly, right, they're not CD Projekt Red, and it's not the same company. It's not the same studio, but they are continuing in the same spirit of The Witcher, and they're going to be going after a vampire storyline. So I'm interested in seeing how this goes. And I think that they're obviously leaning into a lot of the ways that vampires work and a lot of English folklore and literature, especially from The Witcher. So I'm interested in seeing how this plays out. And from everything I saw, again, doesn't look like it's going to be DEI or woke. We have really good, I mean, that's a great vista right there. It looks like we have some really good pacing in the scenes, and I think that the cinematic was super good, and the gameplay looks promising. So I think I'm looking forward to this game, but I don't know when the frick it's coming out. Did they say at the end here? Okay, summer 2025 gameplay reveal. So this is a ways out. All right. Well. Okay, I'm interested in seeing what they come out with.